YouTubers tend to get themselves into a lot of shit, and if you've been on this platform long enough, you've most definitely seen a couple content creators get a little quirky. Right now, in the YouTube space, we got three main villains for this arc. We got Aiden Ross, who was just fucking hitting a bunch of people with content strikes. Some fucking guy that I don't even remember his name. Fuck him though. Not talking about him this video. Not giving him any limelight. This is the dude. Fuck you, man. And then we have Illuminaughtii. She was a pretty well-respected content creator for a time being. Up until now. So guess who we're fucking talking about this video. I have watched this creator pretty heavily throughout my time on YouTube, simply because I liked her video series, Corporate Casket. I thought it was interesting. A lot of her videos are based on like businesses doing no good shit, basically. And they still are. It's not like she's banned or anything. But honestly, after all this, she might as well just fucking leave the platform, because there's no way she is ever going to get the amount of money that she has been making after this fucking drama. Now, disclaimer, there might be some shit still coming out about her. I do not know. I might be late to the party, I might not. Now, you also might be saying, Void, why are you talking about niche YouTube drama? This isn't like your videos, or at least not like your more recent videos. Check those out if you haven't already. And my answer to that is fuck you. I can talk about whatever the hell I want on this channel, especially because I have nothing better to do with my life but garden. So, yeah, go fuck yourself. How about you just sit back, relax, and let me fill you with this internet garbage real quick. Illuminaughtii is a video essay content creator who was pretty well known on the space. If you haven't heard of her, well, you're about to. She made a lot of videos on like scams, pyramid schemes, MLMs, shit like that. You kind of get the gist. But recently, she got into a little feud with a man named Illegal Eagle on Twitter. Now, this is where the drama started. This was a real nothing burger. Like at all. Like nothing came out of this. It was nothing. She started fighting with him because he uses a similar style in her videos or some shit like that. Honestly, I cannot be bothered to remember what exactly it was. It was just a nothing burger of drama. It opened the floodgates. Let me tell you, this little nothing burger of drama that happened on Twitter became a whole lot more for her, because she kind of just got mad at him for no reason. But a bunch of other fucking YouTubers, and not just like small beans here, like we're talking pretty decent sized YouTubers, came out against her on shit that had nothing to do with this. And that's what we're gonna talk about today, because man, it is crazy. She awoke the hive and it cannot be undone. From this point on, there are going to be mentions of some pretty fucking sensitive topics. So if you're not in the mood to hear about mental health, false pedophile allegations, super heavy manipulative practices, then go check out my last video. Has mentions of none of that, and it's kind of an overall fun time. It's pretty cool, not gonna lie. And if not, then just go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out. Leave a like, subscribe, whatever, dude. Ready, boys? So, a little background before we get into it. Illuminaughtii was one of the creators of a YouTube channel called Sad Milk. Sad Milk was a collaboration channel, and this was obviously based around collaboration of a couple different YouTubers, such as The Click, Wonderstruck, and Oz Media, with, of course, Illuminaughtii herself. This channel had a lot of financial issues, according to Blair, and a lot of shit happened behind the scenes that led to a lot of the creators leaving. Long story short, everyone left for various reasons. All of these creators have recently come out against Blair, aka Illuminaughtii, which I will just be calling her Blair for the rest of the video because I don't want to say Illuminaughtii over and over again. So just letting you know, that's her name. After the Legal Eagle situation, all of these creators came out and accused her of some pretty slanderous shit. So we're gonna break them down by creator because it's a lot. Illuminaughtii made a response video about the shit that happened on Twitter, right? Once the floodgates were open, The Click, Oz Media, and Wonderstruck all came out after the Legal Eagle situation on Twitter with big ass Twitter threads, right? Illuminaughtii posted on her main channel about the situation, and she threw all of the creators that mentioned her under the fucking bus. One of them being The Click. Now, content warning for The Click. There will be mentions of false pedophile allegations, and also, I guess, slurs, because in her response video, she starts talking about the financial troubles that Sad Milk went through. But then she starts talking about The Click and is going on about how she said she was super uncomfortable around him after finding out a couple different things about the guy. One of the main things that she brings up is his use of the R slur, but she was uncomfortable with him saying retard in a 10-year-old video. A literal 10-year-old video where this dude was still in like middle school, basically playing Minecraft. She calls the use of this language horrific.
Horrifying language.
Which is crazy to say because I know for a fact, because she grew up in this era, that she most definitely has used this word. Because in 2010, like the 2000s, early 2000s was a crazy era where slurs were, dude, people were using blackface in Hollywood movies still. Retard was not the worst word ever, and it still isn't. Like, depending on context, like, the clique is not going around to special needs people just throwing this word willy-nilly, right? He's using it as like, oh, well, that's fucking retarded. And the guy didn't even know that it was considered a slur until 2020. He's a foreigner. English wasn't his first language, so, you know, language barrier there, I would assume. To be fair to the guy, I didn't even know that it was considered a slur until like 2021. I know for a fact that she is not gonna sit here and act like she is the picture of perfection. I know for a fact that there has been one point in her life where she has said the sentence, "That's fucking retarded." There's no way. Everyone has. Because she is in her 30s and she grew up in the 2000s. Everyone and their mom was saying that word. It was in every movie, it was in every book, and it was in everyone's vocabulary. Don't act like it wasn't in yours. It's just crazy to like throw that in there, say it's horrific language, act like it's a fucking trump card or some shit. She really tried to use that as like her fucking mirror force right there. She then goes on to accuse him of harboring pedophiles in his Discord.
He cultivated an environment that was a breeding ground for inappropriate behavior with minors to occur, and that's exactly what happened.
It is a crazy accusation to make on someone, especially when it's not true. Like, the clique made a response video to this. Obviously, he's not just gonna sit here and take Blair, a pretty sizable YouTuber, throwing shade at him, saying that he's harboring pedophiles in his Discord. That's a horrible look, which he did disprove all of her fucking claims that she made in this video. So, yeah.
It is said that neither I nor my team took action against this predatory person and actively chose to do nothing to resolve the situation. Basically just letting them run amok.
Click and his team did not pursue any immediate action to ban, restrict, or report this individual.
I was asleep. In my time zone, this occurred around 2 a.m. and within the span of me sleeping, this random creep in question had already gotten banned. Here it is. He was banned at 2:14 a.m. my time zone.
I went to contact Click to see what was going on, and it was mainly because I didn't want to believe that he would blow off someone clearly discussing such an inappropriate relationship. After this conversation, that Click took action and reported and removed that individual from his server.
But, as stated, a ban was already issued before I even woke up, about 14 hours before Blair brought this up with OT.
Look, it's not exactly news to anyone that Discord has bad people and bad actors in it. Like all social media platforms, there is a percentage of people that do no good. So I can only imagine having a big ass server like his, shit happens, and he even goes on to show fucking receipts.
Our server alone has 44,000 members and almost 3,000 bans. This isn't a Click's Discord issue, it's a Discord issue.
Blair has probably had a situation like this happen before in her server as well, I'd imagine. I mean, it's fairly fucking common in every YouTuber's servers, except for mine, because mine is squeaky clean and nothing bad has ever happened in the Void's Bag of Holding server. Nothing. And I don't know what she thought was going to happen out of this. Clearly he was going to defend himself here. On top of that, all of this happened back in 2020, according to the clique. Which, if she's really gonna try and be this pillar of justice, why did she hold the information up until now, 3 years later? Why wait to break the news, right? Which you'll see a fucking theme of this happening in this video. And then she starts lying about him on, and this is the craziest part, a fucking second alternate account.
In the next screenshot, you can see her writing out a draft. I saw in the Sad Milk announcement of all the milkmen. Now I'm seeing the comments. We all agree it's obviously not on good terms. Blair tweeting about being stabbed in the back, etc., etc. This draft matches with one of the posts made by an alt account called Doobie Schmertz on Reddit. So this is actually Blair on an alt account making the claims that Blair must have seen some of his old videos randomly. She totally wasn't paying people to dig up dirt. This is her on an alt account, spreading misinformation and trying to enhance her own image. This is all Blair replying to her own announcement under an alt account.
Weeks after Sad Milk broke up, she also decided to start deleting comments on Sad Milk about the clique that were in a positive light, only keeping the negative ones, making it seem like he was a bad dude. Crazy manipulation here. According to The Click, who found this out through leaked screenshots, that alternate account, which no one knew existed, she would use that to spread false information on everyone. Every single person that she did not like, she used this for the alt account. But this is not even the craziest shit that she has done. So now, let's get into So these two are going to be in the same fucking place because they dropped this lengthy ass video together, and this was probably the most lengthy part in Illuminauti's response video. There's a lot here and it gets so fucking bad. In Blair's response, she heavily, and I mean heavily, harps on Wonderboy for multiple things, including his dog, housing situation, his employment issues, his mental health, which is probably the worst part, and we'll get into that later. Sorry if this part sounds a little more like a ramble. This part of the drama is genuinely wild. Okay, so basically what happened here, Wonderboy was one of the people on Sad Milk, right? Oz and Illuminaughtii were living together in Colorado, and Wonderboy ended up moving from Texas down to Colorado so that way he can work with them. Blair hired him on as an editor, and shit got wacky from there. He didn't have a car, he basically had no clothes on his back, and he brought his dog, right? In Illuminauti's video, she goes on about how, you know, the dog was like starved and didn't have a collar and was malnourished and all this fun shit.
With barely any clothing, no food for his dog, not even a collar for his dog, just a bandana.
Now, he ended up living with Oz Media for a minute, and Oz Media, unfortunately, at this time, was like Illuminauti's right-hand henchman. Still a close friend to Wonderboy and to The Click, he was super manipulative to both of them and has apologized heavily in his video. I cannot get into a lot of the stuff that happened with Oz because he has not come out about it, and he would rather keep it private. But basically, they were living together, right? And Blair hired him as an editor for her company, gave him a couple things to edit, according to her in her video.
During this time, I unfortunately only had 2 streams for him to work on, which Wonder would have been able to produce about 4 videos from. Wonder did not meet the deadlines for either stream. Despite this, I kept him on payroll, I continued his pay, even though no work had ever been completed.
But according to both Oz and Wonderboy, he got no work, none. He was basically getting paid to sit there.
Like, yeah, I mean, you weren't provided work for like a majority of the time that you were actually employed.
And then there's the fucking car situation. Blair bought this dude a BMW, right? Just flat out bought him a BMW.
I did not ask Blair to do this, but in Blair's words, she had the money and insisted that I get the car. After a few more discussions, she eased me into the idea that this car was a good move and would really change my life. I never saw the paperwork on the car. I never did any of the work to obtain the car. The most I did was go into a call with Oz and Blair where I got to choose seat colors. I had no idea of the process or what I was really genuinely getting myself into. However, Blair would oftentimes tell me that she herself had enough money to retire at any given moment. While she was a very successful businesswoman, and from the surface that did seem true. Blair even had a few BMWs of her own as well as Oz at the time, so I trusted my friends who seemed to have it all, and I trusted the process, which again I found out was a very bad mistake. The car itself was delayed, I believe, by 2 weeks, so when it finally arrived I was pretty happy. I felt like I was beginning life like my friends.
He was uncomfortable with this situation, obviously, because now everything is under control of one fucking person, Blair. She has all the control over his life. She owns the car that he is driving. She owns the house that he is living in. She is his boss. His money is also coming from her. He got fired within like 6 weeks because he left a message in one of the admin discords making fun of him being a furry. Like, just a self-deprecating joke got him fired. When he got fired, he got kicked out of the house that he was currently living in, and they repoed his fucking car.
Oz gave me a set of options as to what I could do with the car, and I picked option 2, where it was agreed I would bring the car back to Colorado, gather my belongings, and I'd pay the value via regular payments, etc. However, when I asked to see everything my name was tied to legally with the car, which any person would do, I was met with a copy of the car contract. So I asked again to see the paperwork of the car. This was to ensure I was obtaining an accurate account of the car's value so I could legally assure what I was paying for. I believe that any person in my position should have done this. It is the only right thing to do to make sure you legally know what you're paying. After this message, I never once got a response. Later in the early hours of July 29th, 2021, Blair flew down to obtain the BMW. Hours after I agreed to pay for the car's appreciation value under the condition that I was paying what was accurate and visible to me. Roughly 3 a.m., Blair sent me a text stating that I had breached numerous contract violations and that she was in Texas to repossess the vehicle. It goes without saying I was asleep at this time, so obviously I did not see a message that was sent to me at 3 a.m. in the morning. Once I woke up and I saw the messages, I asked Blair for an explanation as to how I breached my contract, to which I was ignored.
Yeah, so loss of job, loss of house, and loss of car within 6 fucking weeks. That is crazy. And that's why he was afraid of this shit. And that made his mental health fucking deteriorate because he just left Texas and all of his friends and family to go work in Colorado with who he thought were his friends. So now he has to go back to fucking Texas and tell them all he got fired. Very, very rough. So he was having a rough time. And I'm not gonna bring up the notes and the suicidal things that Wonder Boy was saying because it was already publicized without his permission. I don't think I want to go into it more. Either way, Blair used this in her video like it was a point against him, just actively exposing a suicide note in her fucking video, which is beyond manipulative. And I don't know what the fuck she was thinking, right? How the hell could you even like do that to a person? That is crazy. And by the way, this all happened back in 2020. And she only conveniently releases it in 2023 when everyone's coming at her for being a manipulative piece of shit. Now, she would hold all of this against them, by the way. She would hold this over the Click's head, she would hold this over Wonder Boy's head, everyone. And she still has a lot of shit that she holds over Oz Media's head. Now, like I said, Oz Media has not come out about his relationship with Blair, and it's probably going to stay like that. He got a lot of the worst parts, I imagine. As you can see, there's a lot of wild shit that happened in this fucking story, and a lot of it didn't need to be brought up whatsoever. And it makes her look like a worse version of Creepshow Art, because Creepshow Art, if none of you know what that drama was a YouTuber who would make like videos talking about people and critiquing people and all this fun shit, being like, she was a super left-leaning channel who did a lot of artwork and would come out against people she disagreed with, right? Well, turns out she had an alternate account where she was being vehemently racist and stalking one of her exes, and was also stealing art, which was one of the biggest things that she would critique, is people stealing art. So lo and behold, giant hypocrite, right? Well, Blair's a little worse because insane manipulative tactics that she was using through the entire thing, actively ruining people's lives at certain points in time, and still trying to ruin people's lives with lies against their fucking character. It's insane to think that basically every single year we see a YouTuber kind of like this just appear. Like someone who has years of work, who is well respected on the fucking platform, and then someone comes out or something comes out that they were a massive piece of shit. The things that she has done to people who consider her a friend is crazy. Like actual psychopathic behaviors here. Oh yeah, and something I didn't even fucking mention, Wonder Boy goes ahead and shows this fucking picture of her room, right? This is supposed to be her room. Blair tries to debunk this in her video. In Wonder Boy and Oz's video, they come out about it, and Oz exposes her even more. Hopefully we stop getting YouTubers like this. Hopefully people just calm the fuck down and realize, hey, maybe being a manipulative asshole to everyone around me is not a good move, but one can only wish. One can only wish. Anyways, that's probably going to be the end of the video. If anything else comes out, I will make a part 2 of this because it's interesting to me, I guess. So yeah, go ahead and leave a like if you liked the video, dislike it if you disliked it. Go ahead and drop a comment down below. I want to know what you think, obviously. And if you do drop a comment down below, I will personally I'll give you a table. Yeah, I'll give you a fucking table, like just a normal plain table. Leave a like if you want a table. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and that's gonna be it. So yeah, peace out.